Okay, anyway, welcome. So I hope I won't be repeating myself and you will be bored by me that next time you won't come. My name is Mavis Ureke. I'm a human behavior specialist, and I put that in quotes. Why do I do that? It doesn't make me an expert. It just makes me someone who focuses on understanding why do we do what we do, or why don't we do what we're supposed to do. Sounds familiar? Yeah. And leadership is about doing, isn't it? Leadership is about action. Okay, so if you aren't doing and you are not getting the results people want from you, then they say, ah, sucks, what a leader. Have you been complaining about some leader lately? Okay, why are you complaining? If you look at it, you're just not liking the results that they're producing. Do you agree with me? Okay, so I'm a human behavior specialist. My background is HR. I've got an honors degree in HR, a master's degree in human resource and development. I always say those are pieces of papers. They're nice to have because people always want to find out what do you have behind you, what makes you why do you stand before us? But I always say those are pieces of papers. I didn't know that they were just pieces of papers until when I was going through life. I realized when life gave me real challenges, I learned that I was not educated. Have you ever felt like that before? Yes. You have your pieces of papers, they're nicely hung on the wall, but you're feeling like a fool. Okay, so yeah, I'm currently also studying PsyD, which is a psychology of leadership doctorate with William James College in the US. Wish me luck with that. Okay, so that's me. You'll get to know a little bit more of myself as we go along for the next couple of minutes or hours. I've been in the consulting for the past 10 years. So I'm 10 years independent, doing consulting work, facilitation, training, coaching. That's my space. That's what I do, but mainly on human behavior related aspects. So we're here to talk about leadership for women this morning. I think one of the key things that as we talk about leadership for women, that we constantly have to look at is we're coming into leadership with a lot of unconscious biases. Do you agree with me? Mm-hmm. So you're on the plane yesterday coming from Joburg and you hear, our captain is going to be Captain Kim, I can't remember what the surname is. And then you're on your way and you start experiencing some turbulence. Okay, firstly when you heard that, you're like, yeah, we're getting ahead as women. Yeah, I'm so excited because a woman is on the wheel, okay? And then you start hitting turbulence. You're like, oh, I hope she knows what she's doing. I hope she knows how to drive that thing. Okay, why? So already we want to lead, but we've got a lot of doubts. Okay, and a lot of these doubts are some of them we've been cultured and socialized into them. We've been taught, women can't do this. Women can't do this. This is not for women. How many times have you looked down upon another woman's ability and talent and you say, a woman can't do this? How many times have you doubted your own ability as a woman? Make sense? Okay, so when we talk about leadership for women, a lot of the things that we have to deal with is really delve into unconscious biases, and so that we can really look at ourselves and see what our ability and our talents are, but we can also allow other women to rise. Because if we are going to lead, we're going to have to lift up one another. I was teaching at a particular conference on leadership, and one lady, she was sitting in the executive for a particular company. She was the only lady in the executive committee, and she said, well, I'm not taking other women along with me. You know women, you know them. I was thinking, okay, am I missing something here? Okay, so what we will talk about for the next couple of hours is really to look at those things. I hope I'll be able to challenge you to look at what are some of the things that we are doing for ourselves against ourselves. Does it make sense? Whether at an unconscious level, can we bring those things to the fore so that we can begin to have a real conversation about these things? I've always said, lately, I don't want you to be nice with me, just be real. There's no point. Because sometimes we're too nice when you just sweep everything over the carpet and you're like, let's carry on, it didn't happen. No, let's be real. Is that okay? Are you prepared to be real for the next couple of hours? Okay, so even as I'm sharing, I always say when we come in here, you wear your teaching hat and also your learning hat. Just because you're sitting here, it doesn't make you less of a leader, but there's always room to get to the next level. Just because I'm standing in front of you, it doesn't make me a better leader than you are. There's so much I am willing to learn, and I'm going to learn in the next couple of minutes and hours together. Is that good? Is that good? Yes. Okay. Potential. and I put that in quotes, potential. Does it make sense? We have a better potential. It doesn't mean that we're leading. It means we have a better potential, okay? And to be better leaders than men, okay? But this is not about comparison or competition. It's just about having the awareness and the realization. I always say to women, you might have the potential, you might have the greatness and the leadership in you, but if you go to a man and say, I'm better than you, he's going to take you out. Do you agree with me? We see the increases in femicides. I'm like, what is our contribution? I'm not trying to blame us, but sometimes we have some play we do. Do you agree with me? If you're going to tell him you're better than him and show him off against him, women can, men can take you out. So leadership now is more collaborative and consultative versus being authoritative and competitive. I was reading one article that was saying, if we employ women in the corporate and they end up behaving as men, why do we need to hire them? Have you ever looked at yourself? You were hired as a woman, but because of the nature of the environment you work in, you have toughened up and you almost behave like you're a man. Does that make sense? And the question is, if you're now behaving like a man, why should we hire you? Because let's just hire the one who can do that role better than you. Because they're born that way. Does it make sense? Okay, so we have that issue where sometimes we get in, we conform to the existing system. Okay, and through conformity, we no longer show up the way we should as women. Okay, how do we show up as women? Collaborative and consultative. But I always say this, women know how to collaborate at the lower end of the value chain. Do you agree with me? If we're doing birthday parties, bridal showers, we know how to do that very well. You bring a salad, you bring a coleslaw, you bring that, and then we are good. The party's done. But when we get into the corporate environment where we should organize ourselves at the higher end of the value chain, we don't know how to do that very well. Do you agree with me? We struggle. Why? Because we get in and we conform instead of bringing our talents and abilities and who we are to the table. To make sense? Okay? So we need to understand that nowadays the challenges we have, if you're talking about Boko Haram in Nigeria, it doesn't require heavy artillery. You don't need a heavy gun to look for Boko Haram. Where are you going to find them? What do you need? Negotiation skills. That's collaboration, isn't it? You need to know how to communicate. And I tell you, women are good at this. We know how to negotiate. Have you seen a woman negotiating with her baby? In the morning? To eat vegetables, even at supper at the table? Why we have to really talk to this baby, why they must eat the vegetables. Okay? So we know how to negotiate. But when we come into the workspace, something happens. I don't know what. Okay? When it comes to the things that we value the most, something happens. I always say, people talk about there's no resources. Okay? Women are disadvantaged. They're disenfranchised. Agreed. But I always say it's not really an issue of we don't have resources in South Africa. We don't have people when they get into positions where these resources are apportioned, think about the things that women care about. Do you agree with me? So imagine if you had a minister, a lady minister, who's sitting on there where the budget is being done, and they're saying, these are the things that women really care about, and we need a budget for it. When they get up there, they forget. You have a gender minister who doesn't know what gender is about. Does it make sense? We have a gender minister who's not actually, who's not positioning or who's not advocating for the issues of gender. I'm not saying she's not, but I'm just saying most of the cases you have people in power who are women who are supposed to be advocating for women-related issues and apportion resources in that direction, but they don't. And we end up thinking resources is the issue. I don't think resources is the issue. Leadership is the issue. Do you agree with me? Resources aren't the issue. We have enough resources in South Africa and we should be okay, right? And then the new generation of workers, if you're looking at the new generation of workers in the workplace, they don't want hierarchy. They're not interested in how many years you've been in the organization. They're interested in what results do you give? What values do you live by? Do you actually live by what you say you live by? Because they begin to question, okay? If you're not living your values, they begin to question, no, you're out of alignment. Yes, you've put your values on the walls. Yes, you say responsibility, this and that, but you're not being responsible for me. And they begin to question that. Okay, so the new generation of workers requires a new type of leadership. Women are good relationship builders. Okay, if you've got a good friend of a woman, they know your mother, they know your grandmother, they know where you come from. Do you agree with me? That's women for you. Man, if you have your husband, if you're married and he brings a friend home and you ask him, where does he come from? He probably doesn't know. But they've been drinking for the past couple of years together. He doesn't know where this person comes from. And I'm telling you, this is from experience. One time, my friend and my husband brings his friend home. And these guys have been friends forever. For as far as when I knew him, they knew each other. And I'm asking, so where does he come from? Clueless. I'm thinking, really? 10 years plus and you don't know where this guy comes from. Are you being for real? Okay? So we are better relationship builders. Okay, we nurture. If we are friends with you, we really, really care. But let me tell you what's happening. I remember I was listening to a particular team, HR team, where they were saying they got a new HR director and she's a woman. And when she stepped in, she said, for the first meeting, I'm not here to be your friend. Like, seriously? Do you know the emotional meaning of that? I don't care. Okay? When you say, I'm not here to be a friend, much as it might be factual, but the emotional meaning is that people are hearing what? I don't care. So if you don't care as a leader, why should we care? So what do? They emotionally check out. So people can get you into a meeting and stay fight or flight. So that team after that meeting, they don't care. They are not collaborating. They're actually working against each other. What did the leader do? She went up and stirred up the team and got them into a fight or flight. They are operating in a survival mode. They know we're not cared for here. Therefore, why should we also care? Okay? Friendship denotes care. So we need to be very careful with that. So women are good relationship builders, okay? And we know, we know everybody and we know where they stay. The majority of women are emotionally literate. We have heard about how emotional intelligence is important for the leadership, of today. You have seen the rise of mental illnesses. You have seen the rise of depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. They say 1 in 4 women, one of them is on some prescription. So if you look around your table, if you just count 4 on your table, one of you is on something. And we just hope it's something good.